ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, esteemed guests, and everybody else. My name is Ben, for those of you that don't know me. If you do know me, still Ben. Now I've got a PowerPoint for you. I've prepared a PowerPoint because I know we've heard 2 speeches already, but I want to try and keep you awake and engaged. I have to say, we have some joke stealers in the room. Go third, unfortunately, 2 opening jokes, but only 2 opening jokes have been stolen already. One of them is Johnny Parker. And Johnny Parker, in retaliation for him stealing my joke, it was the first line he opened with in the church. I'm calling for a referendum. I'm calling for a referendum for who actually is the better looking Parker brother. I feel like everyone should vote in retaliation. I'm not doing that. But what I will say is, I am on the same page as Johnny. How on earth has Luke fluked his way to get a beautiful, caring, kind-hearted, Christ-like woman? And I'm sure you'd agree that Fiona looks beautiful today. And I just want to honour that by offering a ripple of applause for Fiona today. I want to say that the bridesmaids, you guys look great as well. I love how your shoes and things match the ties. I love the little details like that. Fantastic. You guys look great as well. So, I've known Luke since year 7. So, quite a long time. Not as long as his brothers or his family, but since year 7. And I've been rocking my brains a lot to think about what word summarises my relationship with Luke. I've spent long and hard. From the moment I got the phone call when I was on the toilet to be best man, I've been thinking, what? That was a true story. How? What word is it? And what we're going to use is the word wingman. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, best man, he's going to go with the wingman. Ah, very funny. This kind of wingman is what I'm talking about. No, I'm not talking about that kind of wingman. I'm talking about that kind of wingman. I'm talking about Gary Neville and David Beckham kind of wingman. Because we played in the year 7 football team. Luke played right back, and I played right midfield. And our relationship is just like Gary Neville, being Luke, and David Beckham, being me. I'm sure you all agree. Who's the better looking one? It's debatable on who's the best footballer. But that is the word wingman. And I'm going to talk a little bit about us in a little bit. But before that, I've been doing my research, like John did, researched a little bit about wedding speeches, and I found out that speech satisfaction is dramatically increased when you have a graph in the PowerPoint. So here's a graph, and this isn't just a graph, this is a 3D graph. So you can see, this one on the left-hand side is speeches with no graphs, it's fairly satisfactory, about 52%. Speeches with a 2D graph is about 60%. Speeches with a 3D graph is a mighty 82%. So I want to start off with that, making sure you feel satisfied with a 3D graph. Now we've got that over with, we're going to continue. Now I mentioned my next relationship is a bit like Gary Neville and David Beckham, but I want to introduce you to the real class of those born in 1992. Here is the class born in 1992. So here are some of our closest friends, and I'm going to talk a little bit about each one. So the first one, Christopher Marsh, the Monkey Bar Kid. He's in Canada. He made a grand 1 appearance for the Heat Man team in 5 years. Started on the bench and made it before broken the team. I think we should know what the call's like for Marsh tonight. Hopefully he's watching on the video. Everybody, the Dolly, the legend, the most underrated, unbothered defender. You know, see, most unbothered usher as well, by the look of it. But many say he can read the game better than John Terry himself. Next up, we've got Dean Dean, one of the ushers today. Dean Dean, the box-to-box powerhouse, who was likened to David Buddy many times before his career threatened injury. But I just wanted to say, the double save at Alba Leisure in 2006. I will never forget that double save. This year, I'll never forget it. I wanted to honour him with that. But of course, this is all about Luke. I want to tell you about Luke. I'm going to tell you some more stories in a minute. But me and Luke, we started in year 7, and on away games, we would sit at the front of the bus, me, Luke, and Ethan, right next to each other. And behind us were these lads who just, they called themselves the Rajis. And we used to get so much abuse sitting on this bus. We had things thrown off us, we were like everything, it was every single game. We went through sufferings, hardships, persecutions, sitting on this front of this bus for year 7 and beyond. So me and Luke have been through a lot. And lastly, we've got Arashaf Razali, famous for being better than Richard Perry. He's now playing in the Chinese League if anyone wants to research Arashaf Razali. But I want to tell you a little bit about Luke's stories on and off the pitch. Now, I don't know if you know Gary Neville. He's a great right back, but he's also a tremendous pundit, and he's also an amazing commentator. And And as we've clearly seen more recently, he's an amazing manager and coach. No, he's not. Maybe not the last things. But he does have other talents, doesn't he, Gary Neville? And like Gary Neville, Luke has many talents. Now, I wanted to start with on the pitch. Now, we all know Luke is a very gifted sportsman. And we've heard he swims, and he's played football, but he also played basketball. And there's a very famous time where 4 players of our Man team are actually in this room. We had a team of 6 players, and only 2 of them had ever played basketball before. Actually, only 2 of them ever played basketball before. And we played, I played for the Newcastle Eagles Academy team, and we played against a team called Kenton, and their team had 7 Newcastle Eagles players. 7 in the Academy, 7 players. We had 1 player, 4 players who'd never played basketball before. One of them was Luke. And it was the famous game that we played, where we won the game unbelievably, 67-66, by 1 point. Somebody on that day scored 57 points. I'm not sure who that was. But someone scored 2 points. But what Luke did on that day was completely shut down their best player. He was called Michael Strachan, and he was tipped to be a really good player. But Luke literally, completely marks him out of the game, out-rebounded, out-forwarded. And that just shows the kind of person he is when he puts his heart in it, puts his mind in it. You do incredible things. So we won 67-66, an amazing game. But we've also played cricket. Luke, very famous, he was a cricket captain, beat man at school. We played a grand total of 0 games. But Luke was the captain, and in one of his books with Dean, he went through writing out the cricket team, hundreds of times, and sorting out the batting order. Who's going to bat where? Captain Parker, of course, bat number 1 every single time. And then the batting order underneath would change. Would he bring in Wildman? Would he bring in at 3? Would he bring in at 4? But he spent 6 or 7 months writing down the cricket team. We never played a game. We just had 1 cricket training session, which was the worst cricket session I've ever seen in my life. But every day, what was amazing was, myself and Dean, we used to play cricket against 3 guys from Pakistan, and every day we'd have England beat Pakistan, and it was amazing. And it just shows how sport just breaks down barriers, and we had an amazing relationship with those 3 guys. And obviously, we all know Luke is a great sportsman. He also did really well in class cross country. Always lots of top 10 finishes. Often behind a certain man who's sitting on that table. Let you guess who that is. In the last year, he finished 3rd in 4 cross country. So he's a very gifted runner. But one of my favourite stories was when myself and Luke were going to do the bleed test at GCSE, and everybody in the room was thinking, who's going to win the bleed test? And of course, everyone was saying, the guy who's going in the army, he's going to win it. Or the guy who's a sports athlete who was one of the Rajis I mentioned earlier. It was always going to say, they're going to win. There's no way anyone else is going to win. But what myself and Luke did, we said, we're going to run this race together, and we're going to encourage each other, and we're going to go as far as we can go. When someone else isn't going to be able to do it, we're going to encourage the other person. And what we did was, we managed to beat the army guy, beat the navy guy, beat the Rajis, and we finished it together on level, I think it was level 16 point something, I think it was. We finished it together, and I just wanted to say that in your life now, as we're both running the race, know that I'm still running the race next year, like we were on that day, even if we're not in the same city. So that was on the pitch. We know Luke is a very gifted and talented sportsman. But of course we know all the best stories happen off the field, don't they? So here's some things that you may not know about Luke. Did you know that Luke has collaborated on 1.5 Christian dance albums? I didn't even know that. The first one, I mean, he had a reason why he wanted to start these CDs, and he called himself Repent, direct, Repent. And that first album was the Darth Vader Classic. And if you want to purchase one of those, there's about 25, 30 still available. You can get a signed copy from the two DJs. If you want a copy, please say me at the end. The second album didn't go too well, obviously it's only half an album. What happened was that Luke trusted me a little bit too much. I ended up doing remixes. The Animals Went in 2x2 remix. And I did the mega mix of Roll the Lips Name on High with Darude Sandstorm, which was absolutely ridiculous. But if you want to hear it, it's still available. The 1.5, the second part of the half album is available for those that want to see.
Lord, I love to sing your praises. I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad you came to save us.
Now I wonder Has anybody seen this man before? Anybody seen this man before? This man is a very, very famous man. Did you know that Luke Parker helped create this man named Billy Rubin? Billy Rubin changed Big Man School upside down. Did you know that Billy Rubin, this man, has wrote 3 autobiographies? 3 autobiographies, genuinely has. But I have to say, I would not recommend the first 2. I would recommend the third one, rightly titled Silly Billy. I'd say the third one is definitely worth a read, but the first 2 I wouldn't. But we've discovered Billy Rubin in a science lesson, and someone was talking about Billy Rubin, I think the teacher, and Luke literally said, "Who is Billy Rubin?" and at that point, it went on the whole class, "Who's Billy Rubin? Who's Billy Rubin?" And everyone was like, "Who is Billy Rubin?" So much so, Luke could not handle it. And he went out of the room crying with laughter. He came back into class and had to get chucked out the class because he was laughing too much. Who is Billy Rubin? It was a mystery we've all been looking for. Who is Billy Rubin? I discovered one day when I delivered newspapers in a hospital ward. I walked in and I overheard the doctor saying, this person over here, just be careful, they've got Billy Rubin. And so I looked in there and I asked for the papers and I said, would you like a newspaper? And the whole ward had Billy Rubin. The whole ward. This whole business, the whole ward. It is a medical condition, but Billy Rubin, Luke has famously written 3 autobiographies, and I would strongly recommend you get your hands on them. But he's also been part of many other pranks. He single-handedly managed to shut down one of the biggest private schools in Newcastle with an April Fool plan. You're going to have to ask him after the Thunderbird about that one. But me and Luke have been through Hurricane Katrinas, we've been through an endless amount of excuse books, we've been through many things, but we've also had many a good night out. As Luke said, we have had some good times in Newcastle. One of my favourite moments was when we went to a bar called Label. And in Label, the manager, we walked in, and I can mention it because she's not an ex-girlfriend of any of us, so I can say it. So we walked in, and we said, "Oh, what's your name?" And she said, "My name is Charlene Jean McBean." And we just said, "No way, there's no way, Charlene Jean McBean." So she got a badge out and went, "Yeah, Charlene Jean McBean." And for the next week, 2 weeks, me and Luke tried to get in the Gold Lounge. And we ended up getting in the Gold Lounge in this place. And Charlene Jean McBean, we found out 4 weeks later that she only wanted to be friends with us for my contact list for the company that I work for. She wanted the addresses of all of the people that I work with, so she could then send an email of the Label takeover. But myself and Luke have had really good times together. I have to say, Indigo, House of Power have been some of my favourite things, but the water bar crawl has got to be one of my favourite moments. You can ask Luke about some of them things as well. But then there's the next section of this story called Come Into His Senses, and of course, this is the moment where Luke, of course, met Fiona, when he finally came to his senses. So after school, Luke went to university to study law, where he met who must not be named, but for this speech I'll name him, many and came. Many film documentaries together. And in that time, this is amazing, Luke and Fiona went to the same university, but didn't cross paths. And I think that is amazing, how they didn't cross paths then, and they get married today. And I love how God has brought them together. But when Luke was there, after he went into this internship, he got a graduate job, and he looked like he had his path set. He thought he had his dream job, he had lots of money, he had an Audi, he had friends, he had family, and surely everything is set. But this is my favourite part of the story. It's actually a story which is in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 15, and it's in verse 17, and it says, the prodigal son came to his senses, and he realised that nothing in this world would ever properly satisfy him. And he turned in the opposite direction and turned back to what God wanted him to do in his life. And that was the best decision that Luke ever made, to deny himself, to change the narrow path, and to realise that what good is it to gain worldly things, but to lose his soul. And it was amazing when he came to his senses. Of course, he met Fiona. When they first met, though, for about a year and a bit, Fiona absolutely hated Luke's guts. Absolutely hated his guts. Because you see, Fiona thought Luke was a fraud. She literally thought he was a fraud. She thought, how could anyone be all those things that John read out before? As a Christian, athletic, witty, musically talented, all those things. How is this possible? You must be a fraud. And as time went on, Luke pushed it, because the first sign of love is hate. And he kept on having banter with her all the time at home groups. And he pushed it so far that one day at home group, Luke said something before they went and got some food, and he pushed it so far that when he came back from having food, Fiona had left the room because she was crying. That's how far he had pushed the flirtatious barriers. I better take those. How do you do it? How do you do it? So he pushed himself up, but then the moment that I'll never forget was when Luke decided to say sorry, and not just say sorry, but give her a hug. And this hug would change the direction. Because what we didn't realise was Fiona is a massive hugger. And Nick wanted Luke to realise was that hug would change the last year and however long. In 1 second, as soon as they hugged, as soon as they embraced, everything changed from that moment. And I think that motto should continue. If in doubt, hug it out. Make sure you're if in doubt, hug it out. So, there's one last story. I wonder if any of you remember what you were doing on the 4th of the 4th, 2009. Does anybody remember what they were doing on that morning? Well, some of you in that room, in this room, may have awoken with an SMS saying these following words. Mexico, World Champions, 1:31 a.m., 4th of the 4th, 09. Remember the time, remember the date, remember the catch-up. What you didn't realise was on that night, something monumental happened on that night. Myself and Luke won the World Cup in Mexico on FIFA and decided to text both of our whole phone booths that we won the World Cup with Mexico. At 1:31 in the morning, we sent it out to everyone, including our economics teacher, John Taylor. Literally, when we were in the next day, I'm scratching. The World Cup in Mexico, it's not even the World Cup. But we text out everyone in our phone booth. And if anyone was wondering what that text was about, that was what it was about. But this has been a massive moment for me and Luke. That date is an anniversary. We used to always meet up every year and meet each other every single year. And I wanted to turn that story into a blessing for both of you guys. So here we go then. Obviously, Luke, you remember the team. But I want to go through the team. But Fiona, the next slide will be for you. It's for both of you. But you'll definitely like the second one. But if you want to remember the first one, Fiona, Luke, the challenge is remember the second one. Alright? So we've got in goal Ochoa. Obviously the goalie. And obviously he saved things. He was an amazing shot saver. Shot saver. And I want to encourage both of you guys, save this day. Save. Save when you do epic things. But save the good and best memories in your heart together. So that's Ochoa. And right back, wrong way, we're on the right back. He was called Osorio, remember Osorio? And with Osorio, you can always trust Osorio. Always can. Like you always trust Osorio, may both of you always fully trust each other and fully trust the living God. Trust him with all your heart, not in your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he'll make you path straight. Of course, at the back we have the Rock, Marquez, the Rock in the back. And everyone knows that Marquez is strong and courageous. We both know that he was the Rock in the back, and may God keep you both strong and courageous, and may you both lead God's people by example. Next to him was Aaron Galindo, Marquez's partner, and he was so good at holding the line and keeping it in step. And I would encourage both of you, may you guys hold the line, may God bless you, and may you both keep the line and keep in step with his Holy Spirit. And then the left back, everyone's favourite, Salcido, the Mexican that everyone loves. Everybody loves Salcido. And may your life be filled with an overflow of love. Like Salcido, love is patient, kind, slow to anger, and never fails. Now we go to the midfield. In midfield, we had Pavel Pardo and centre mid. And of course, Pavel Pardo was the master of the pass. And as you pass through life, may God lead and direct your steps. Many are our plans, but God directs our steps. As you walk through the water, the streams and the fire, you will not be swept over. Even though you walk through the valleys of hardship, know that God will never leave you and never forsake you. Next to him we have Torado, and he was obviously the guy who made all the bone crunch tackles. May you both tackle life's problems with a kingdom perspective. When life hits hard, may you always be ready to get up and keep moving forward, because that's how winning is done. And then we have left wing, Guardado, best player, and he couldn't even gamble. May your life be full of gambles. May you both take risks. May you live life to the full with calculated risks and Christ-like confidence. And of course, on the right of midfield, didn't actually start a lot of the games, but he's made it on my team sheet. Right wing, the Nigris, surprised to be there. But may there be people in your life who come into your life to surprise you. May God fill your life with people who will be there and help you always. Remember, with the Nigris, there's always hope. But with Christ, there's a living hope. A hope that renews your strength day by day. A hope that goes beyond the grave, and a hope that will never fail or pass away. Now we move to the strike force. We have Nick Castillo up front. And when I think of Castillo, I just think of joy. I just think of an overwhelming amount of joy. And may you know that even in the small things, there can be great joy. Like, Castillo is small, but there's so much joy. Remember that there will be an abundance of joy. May your life be filled with an abundance of joy. And then next to him, we'll have the man, the legend, Mr. Cacho, the leader of the team. And of course, you guys know that you have a leader. Luke, may you lead Fiona, and may you love her as Christ loved the church. Through it all, remember you have a leader even greater than Cacho. You have the resurrected King, the High King of heaven, the King of glory. He's the King of righteousness. He's the King of the ages, the Lord of lords. And may the Lord Jesus bless you and keep both of you. And of course, we have the bench. How can you have a team on the bench? On the bench! It's looking pretty fruity! It's a fruity bench! And as your bench is pretty fruity at home, you keep your marriage pretty fruity as well. That's why I've got the bench. Always make sure you keep some fruit there, keeping it fruity. You've got peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, self-control on the bench. You always bring them on. And then you've got Pango, the legend who started all the games. Keep him on the bench. Remember, you can bring him on any time. Of course, you've got the mom as the physio as well. So, that was the bench. But Fiona, you may be wondering, what formation are you going to play? What formation? Big question. I think I've got the answer. I've been thinking long and hard, what formation are you going to play? This is very important. You're going to play the 2-2-2, 4-4-2-2. You got it? 2-2-2, 4-4-2-2. When you see it, you're going to know exactly what. Luke, you got it? 2-2-2, 4-4-2-2. Got it? 2-2-2, 4-4-2-2. This is what it looks like. No. This is what it looks like. There it is. The 2-2-2, 4-4-2-2. May you keep that, the formation, the whole time. As you go through your marriage, remember those players, remember those words, and may that be a blessing to your life as you go forward. But what's the motto, Fiona? You've got the formation, the motto, if in doubt, hug it out. Whatever happens, never ever forget that. If in doubt, hug it out. And I wanted to finish with a command that I think God gives us. And I feel this is for us to fulfill this command. And it's 4 simple words. And those words are, go, forth, and multiply. I hope and pray that you guys will have a blessed marriage. And go forth and multiply. In the name of Christ. But all joking aside, I wanted everyone to raise a glass to the wonderful, majestic, sensational, and epic. And the word epic stands for endless possibilities in Christ. Ladies and gentlemen, this is no fluke. This is Luke and Fiona Parker. Please raise your glass to Luke and Fiona Parker.